Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And I'm
Rose.
Jessica Bun Bun.
We are here with our reaction and review for A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Season 1, Episode 5. Such a bittersweet moment that we are all in here collectively.
hmm
There is the tragedy of the end of this episode. There is the tragedy that is the fact there's only one episode this season
Oh
left.
my goodness. It's such a good show. I mean, I really didn't know what to expect going in. As we mentioned in other videos, we have not read the source material,
Yeah.
but oh man, this show is fire. It's so good. And this episode, oh my God, listen, I am a Pisces. I will cry over anything, but oh wow, did this ever just break me apart? This was the most emotional episode for me.
Yeah, it's really, really well done. I feel like in totality, it's going to be hard for the show to ever top the end of episode 4 when it comes to celebrating. But when it comes to feeling just like a pit in your heart that's going all the way down to your stomach, I mean, losing Baylor and then the way in which we lose him where it seems like everything is okay and then you see the back of the head and then it's, oh no, it's definitely not okay.
No, nothing is okay. Right when Dunk is like pledging his loyalty to him, I mean, like, I'm pretty worried now about what's going to happen going forward because even though, yeah, it seems like everything was like, oh, it's recanted, I take back my accusation, everything seems fine. This death, I don't know if this actually makes anything fine or not anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're going to spend a lot of time in this video talking a lot about what happens from here. We'll, of course, get into as well the Dunk flashback, some of the really just awesome visual stuff that we had in here as well. Before we do, though, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We will be here through all of the Night of the Seven
Mhm.
Kingdoms, but beyond all of that, House of the Dragon is coming back this summer. We are very, very excited to get fully into that. We're currently covering another show that's streaming on HBO Max
Mhm.
in The Pit. And later this year, we're going to be getting all up into Dune Prophecy Season 2, which is hopefully going to be as great as Season 1 was.
Speaking of Dune Prophecies, join our memberships if you want to check out season 1 and what we had to say.
Mhm.
We also are covering Hijack over there right now, season 2. It's so good. It helps us a lot here at the channel as well. So we really appreciate everyone who has joined our memberships. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys very, very much. We could not be any more
Yeah.
grateful. But let's just get right into the oh my god, what happens from here? Because you did set the table in talking about is the stage the same as what it was? Because technically, yeah, Dunk survived this trial of 7. There are a lot of witnesses. So
Yep.
in theory, you could say, okay, Arion, Makar, they can't automatically be like, oh no, 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 this is all null and void. We're gonna take you out now, right? Because they're gonna lose the favor of everyone that was in attendance.
Yeah, everybody saw Arian sit there and say, I take it back. It's done. I withdraw. We're all good now,
Yeah, yeah.
sort of thing. So he has said it publicly. It's going to be very hard to go back on that. And when we look at Baylor, I mean, he made this decision. He's the grown man. He decided that he was going to go and fight with Dunk, and he did. And he knew what the risks were. And these are the risks. So is there going to be any consequences for this? No, I don't think so in that way. I don't think there's going to be another trial. There's going to be something like that. But I mean, the two of them really had a special connection. I know they only knew each other for a few days, but the fact that Baylor was going to stand up for him and be like, "Hey, this is you and me. I really believe in you. I believe in good nights. I'm a good night. You're a good night." And having Dunk like get down on his knee and say, "I am here for you. I am here to follow you. I am your man." It felt like a relationship that was going to go really far.
It is the ultimate what if now, where we're just all
Right.
collectively left to wonder they could have been best bros through the end of their lives.
Well, maybe this is why Tinfoil hat he had to die, because how do we then have Duncan Egg go on to have more relationship if Dunk's relationship is now he's pledging his life to Baylor? And I think without Baylor there, it might be able to open up for more of Duncan Egg being able to figure things out.
I think there are two different things that are at play here. I think one of them is exactly what you said. They need to figure out a way to continue to have Dunk and Egg adventures. This does allow all of that. Now, the part of it that I really just hate to say, but it's the true reality. Somebody had to die for the trial of Seven to have any real meaning, and we weren't going to get emotionally torn up if we saw Arion ultimately bite it, or Makar, or any one of those other people. I think it needed to be someone we really cared about, because otherwise, just what is the point of all this? And at the same time, this is where I do have to say this. Dunk has a little bit of the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy
Mhm.
Grail going on in this episode. How many times did he get like maimed, attacked, like just got impaled? Every single time he seems to be okay. Yeah, he's not physically great, but he's not dead, and that is shocking.
It was shocking the amounts of times he got stabbed over and over and over. And I was just like, they're not going to kill their main character, right? But I mean, there are other shows out there that have done that and moved into other things, but I felt confident they weren't. But at what cost? I will say that I really did like that for all the time that he was, the squire to Arlen and all of that, that he truly fought as a knight the way that I thought he would against other people that have had training since they're little, all the way up to where they are adults now. They've been trained by the best to fight like the best. And then here's Dunk. If Dunk had come out and was just amazing and getting in all the perfect swings, wearing the armor. He's not used to wearing armor. I really love that they showed us his perspective of what it's like to be in all this armor. A guy who's not used to wearing armor now has to fight in armor. I loved it. It was so realistic. So that by the time he got to the point that he took the armor off and was just on him, beating him, I was like, this is the way he was going to win.
This is where Emmys, I hope you're paying attention to this episode. I don't know if A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is going to be a comedy, a drama. I don't know where it's going to submit. We can have
Yeah.
the whole bear discussion at another time. But it just felt like, first and foremost, yeah, the cinematography in this episode is outstanding. The whole perspective of him going into battle. I don't know the right words for this other than to call it the Doctor Who phenomenon, because in my opinion, the best Doctor Who seasons are the ones that are literally made of duct tape and paper clips just holding the show together. And Seven Kingdoms is kind of like that compared to House of the Dragon. They didn't exactly have a ton of budget, but that made them get really, really creative. And having this first person, it allowed them to sort of be like, okay, maybe we can't have every single combatant in this trial of seven on screen at the same time. That's too expensive. So we're going to do this instead. But it put us right into Dunk's shoes, and it was so beautifully shot. And then, yeah, the fight choreography of him just running around like this big, gigantic bull, barely knowing how to handle his body, control himself. Peter Claffey, who plays Dunk, he is a rugby player. There was a lot of rugby going on in the way he was fighting.
This was done so well, so realistic. I really felt like this is the way that it would play out, and this is the only way he was going to be able to get one over on Arian in any kind of ways, that it had to be more of a battle of the fists at this point. Watching Duncan, this armor, I mean, it was so clumsy. I don't know if he's ever really worn a whole suit of armor, plus the lance, plus. Like, it was just too much to deal with. Like, learning how to fight with a sword when you're not wearing all this armor, kind of useless once you've got that helmet on. The visuals from just that little slit that he was able to see through, I'm like, how do you see anything? It reminded me of when I'm in sort of like the end city and I have to wear a pumpkin on my head in Minecraft so that the Endermen don't come and get me. I can't see anything. So I just put on all my like really top gear and take the pumpkin head off and hope for the best.
Are you saying that Arion is the Enderman of the Night of
Right.
the Seven Kingdoms world? No, it's really true. They just played all that really, really great. And yeah, they end this in this devastating place where we have this wonderful underdog story this whole way through. It seems impossible Dunk's gonna make it. And now it is the where does he go from here? Because
Yeah.
it's such an interesting, counterintuitive way to think where, yeah, I could see theoretically Makar or Arion being like, oh, we need to get revenge, your favorite thing in the world.
I
Just
love revenge.
they might want this, but at the same, can you really get revenge over what happened to Baylor when Baylor willingly volunteered to fight against you, his own family?
Also, who hit him in the head? Who hit him in the head? Was it one of the King's guards that ended up hitting him in the head? Was it Arian? Was it something like it looks like he got hit in the head with like something like a mace? And the person that we saw with that was Arian. I didn't really see who made that connection because everything was going by so quickly. But who was it? It can't be somebody like Arian, and then he's like, you know what, revenge.
Yeah, don't. I understand, Ariana. You are a terrible human being. You cannot also be a hypocrite on top of all of
He
it.
absolutely can be a hypocrite on top of all of it.
I guess if you literally believe you are a dragon, you can be anything you do want to be. Now, I do have some advice I want to hand over here to Dunk in the aftermath of all of this. I know you're pretty beat up at this point, but you need
Beat up.
you need to get your zombified self, run out of Ashford as fast as humanly possible before anyone can decide to do something different with you.
It's time for him to get out. Like he's got to go. Whatever he was hoping to gain here, I think he's gained some of it with the public that they've seen him as this, formidable force that was able to take down the dragon sort of thing. But that's only going to last for so long. The Targaryens are still in power. Dunk is still Dunk. I mean, eventually everyone's going to fall back in line. I think he's got a very small window to get out.
Yeah, and this raises this question of, okay, then where can Dunk possibly go? And the options there are kind of sort of limited. He could maybe rely on Egg to some degree in Egg's own heritage, but that's difficult for all the reasons we've already specified. I mean, maybe you go over to your guy Lionel Baratheon and be like, hey, buddy, you got a job for me? Is that something he can do?
It's possible. I mean, if we want to keep Dunk and Egg together, though, there's got to be maybe a way for him to join the crew and be able to like take care of Egg. Maybe Egg will like say, hey, I just watched him defeat one of our own. I want him to be the person who protects me. He'll be the knight that protects me if he's not allowed to be a squire.
What I'm hoping for here is that, King Daeron's really the leader of everyone at this point, and we haven't actually seen him on the show so far, but supposedly this guy is called Daeron the Good. Now, like we've said, we do not read the book. I haven't read the book, so I don't know the truth behind all this. So unless this is a situation kind of like you go to the bar and the bouncer's named Tiny and he's actually 8 feet tall, hopefully this is not Daeron the Good as an ironic name. But if he is actually good in the way that Baelor was good, maybe he will then be like, okay, you know what, Egg? I don't want you to have to deal with the rest of your family anymore. They're all kind of terrible. Maybe having you and Dunk going off on some adventure somewhere else. Maybe you guys can actually improve the goodwill of House Targaryen. We don't have dragons anymore. Nobody really likes us. We actually do have some things to worry about here.
Good PR. Let's go. They going on a press tour.
Listen, can you guys go down, I don't know, closer to Dorne? Then you can hang out with Tanzala. There are some nicer places theoretically in Westeros, right?
Right.
Okay, we'll take a moment here to also get into the flashback sequences. I mean, I'll be honest, the flashback stuff did not light my soul on fire in the same way as everything did in the present, but I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that we started off this episode with this big epic battle that we'd already been waiting more than a week to see, and then right when it starts, we go into the past. And so I did have a couple of minutes where I was thinking, why did you do this to me? Why couldn't you have just started with the flashback or something? You've interrupted my personal momentum, guys.
Yes, I agree with the momentum. I was glad to have the flashback, but the placement of it for me didn't feel right. I know the whole point of it was to sort of get to that moment where Arlen was like, get up, and then Dunk would get up. But it reminded me a lot of The Walking Dead and the Glenn episode where, he was on this trailer and he was underneath it. And then all of a sudden, all the walkers were swarming him. And I was like, you better believe I'm going to be tuning in next week. Yeah. There is no way he's getting out of that. And then the next week was a Morgan episode. And while that Morgan episode was 10 out of 10, it totally wrecked the momentum. And people hated that episode because they were waiting to find out what happened to Glenn.
Yeah, and that's sort of the same thing here, where I do think a lot of the content of the flashbacks was really, really good. Like, it was cool to get a better understanding of Flea Bottom and some of the people who lived there, the terrible ones, but then also the arrival of Sir Arlen, the penny tree here,
Hmm.
which was very, I don't know if we should say dynamic. He's awfully good in combat for somebody who looks like he's about to fall over at any given second.
Yeah, he seems to be quite good in combat and hand-to-hand combat, which is a lot of what Dunk is good at too.
So yeah, I do think it was meaningful that we got to see the first interaction with Dunk and Penny Tree, to see them
Yep.
how they figured out a way to bond a little bit, that there are very good qualities with Arlen, despite the fact that there's a lot of very, very messy things as well.
Man, he really made Dunk earn that spot. Watching
Yes.
Dunk follow him for I don't know how long, days, weeks, that was rough. Watching him drink that dirty water and getting sick and him still being by himself, like that was tough.
It was really, really tough. And yet there's something so appealing about the relative simplicity of all of this, where, yeah, Dunk had to undergo all these really nasty trials, but
To earn it.
yeah, but then he earns it. And then they
Yeah.
move forward. They forge this relationship that's not particularly deep, but at the same time, there's a lot of meaning and affection there. And that's kind of the beauty of this show, in that there are deep moments, but there are also superficial characters. We're getting to see kind of a classic good versus bad showdown. And that, in this whole sea of everything being really, really complicated,
Yeah.
especially on House of the Dragon, where we're constantly like, who is good, who is bad, who are we meant to root for? Like, that
Yeah.
still remains really refreshing.
Well, there's also just this deeper story with Dunk that we're now getting from these flashbacks where, we see him lose Rafe, then we see him with Arlen. We know he loses Arlen. We know that he lost his mom. He's over and over and over again losing people all the time.
Yeah.
He's always making a connection and then it's broken and stolen from him. And the connection that he had with Baylor was so fleeting, but he was all in. So to see him so all in after losing all these people throughout his life, it was so heartbreaking that it's really like he needs to just be with Egg and they just need to be, that's it. That is the relationship that Dunk has been looking for, that Egg has been looking for. Because I mean, Egg's he's not in the exact same situation. Yeah, he's a Targaryen. He definitely has a lot more privilege than Dunk had ever had. But he's also kind of the forgotten person that nobody's really connecting with. And he's also looking for connection.
And this is where I have to tell Dunk, don't be stubborn. Don't get in your head with all of this. Like, it's pretty easy to tinfoil hat this and just say, all right, in the finale, Dunk is going to try to push Egg away for all the reasons that you've just
I
said.
will not be surprised. It makes complete sense.
But I don't want that. And I don't think I
Yes.
don't think Egg is even going to allow that. Egg, despite his young age, he's very, very smart. He's
Mhm.
sociable. I think he's going to be able to get through to Dunk and say, not only do I want to be with you, but you actually also need me, because I perceive the world differently than you do. And if you don't have me, you're just going to be wandering through the wilds of Westeros without any real claim to your name, despite what just happened at this tournament.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it turns the other way for Dunk, where he really realizes how much he does need other people, and that while he's had abandonment and death and loss and all these things that have happened to him, especially even right now, and his whole heart is just out there on the floor, that he's really going to be in such a vulnerable spot that he will be able to fully admit to himself that he needs Egg. He just needs other connections. He needs other people.
Let's hope the finale makes us all really,
I
really
can't believe we're at
happy.
the finale.
I know.
I am unhappy.
We're all going to be unhappy the moment that it ends. It's nice to know that season 2 is filming. Like, I will throw that out there. It does feel like, I don't know if this is going to be like The Pit, where there's a new season every single January, but if you guys,
Don't rush it, guys.
yeah, just take your time. Give us really,
We'll
really
wait.
good stuff. Like, I don't even care if Dexter ages up a little bit. Like, that's all right. As long as the show doesn't have like 14-year-old Dexter running around pretending
Yes.
to be like 7 years younger or whatever. But
Yes.
we're so excited for the finale, what lies ahead. But tell us, what did you think about episode 5? Where do you think Dunk's going to go from here?
Mhm.
Share in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to check out our memberships. We have all sorts of great content over there,
Thank
including
you.
season 1 of Dune Prophecy.
Mhm.
Thank you so, so much. We'll see you here next time.